Hi everyone, this is Lisa. I'm coming at you today from Hurghada, Egypt. So many of you have been asking, why did I leave America and repatriate to Africa? And so I know I've been here now about 6 months, and so I thought it was time for me to break my silence and give you guys answers to some of your questions. Well, first of all, I want to say I thank you for your patience and, allowing me this time to just take it all in and get a little bit acclimated. So I decided to take a little trip over to another African country. That I currently live in Rwanda. So I wanted to just get out for a minute and see what else I can explore. So let's kind of get into it in terms of why. So, number one, of course, you guys have heard the cliche that life is short. And even through the pandemic for the last year and a half or so, I think it's even more prevalent where we all, I'm sure, have been exposed to losing family and friends during this difficult time, and just how we're living life is totally different than before 2020. So I think, for me, I am currently 55. I'll be 56 in just a few short months. But I thought it was time to stop dreaming and saying one day and, wake up. Just wake up and start really doing me. Start living my life, because for so long I felt like I was just existing. And I just decided to be intentional about living my best life. And for many of you who've asked me that question personally, that was the response I gave you. So what do I mean by living being intentional about living my best life? It's doing all those things that I dreamt of doing for so long, all of my life. I've always been inspired by African decor, the culture, my African roots, and only knew what I, was exposed to through negative media, some bits and tidbits of, things through African fabrics, just trying to make some connection to this land. And I realized that, I no longer have to be just inspired by where I am or, what I want to do, or be inspired by Africa. I can live it. I can live it today. And so many people describe me as being brave. I don't think it's being brave. I think it's just being intentional, doing what I really want to do, not having everybody in my ear that were skeptical about it. But I will say overall, I got great support from my family and friends. Were very happy for my decision to do this. But, I think it really does have to be a personal choice. And it has to be, in terms of moving, it has to be a true commitment. And yes, it has to be some form of planning, whether it's your budget or if you have a family, of course, you and your spouse would need to be on the same page as to making this type of commitment, because there are some learning curves, and that's why I didn't reach out to you guys right away. It was because I had to get acclimated, just even trying to communicate or get through security. And when I say that, Rwanda is one of the safest places to live in the world. And so I found out quickly why, because the security is everywhere, everywhere. But I have never experienced any inappropriateness as far as being unprofessional. Their tone is still very polite. There are checkpoints, with you driving, that type of thing. So, and even if you're going to a little plaza just for shopping or something like that, they're going to, basically search your car. You got to open your glove compartment. They look in your back seats, they look in your trunk, and they get the undercar mirror and walk around and to make sure, there's nothing there that shouldn't be there. So, but once you get used to those types of routines, it's not bad, it's different. It's not the type of security. Here you see more police officers on foot. They're at checkpoints. They're standing the corners of the streets and stuff like that. They're very visible here, and very professional. And I actually like that security as being someone who made this decision to travel or move solo. So this has been a great experience in terms of, just learning some of those differences, and even the communication barrier and how to get through it. One thing I've learned here that has been very challenging for me is basically trying to be patient about things. So one of the things that I had to that I miss, and I'm not gonna lie, that I miss is conveniences. Like, I know what store to go to get the better brands or a certain type of brand, when it comes to American stores. Here, it's kind of like going on a treasure hunt. Most of the time, you'll find what you're looking for, but it may be even packaged differently, or in a different language or a different brand. But it may take a while to find it. So one of the good things is we do have resources with other people who have moved here, whether they're expat or repat, and we have like a WhatsApp group that we can, phrase our questions there, and someone will respond in terms of, for example, does anyone know where I can find some apple cider vinegar? Just that simple, and that's a real live example. So, you can get those types of things here, but they may cost you anywhere from, in that particular example, you can pay anywhere from $7.50 equivalent, which is in terms of $7.50 up to $25, and in francs that would be 7,500 to 25,000 francs. So you just have to learn to shop and also bargain and those types of things. So another thing in terms of moving you have to face is the challenges of getting your visa and getting that renewed and what that looks like, registering your business, which is very easy. You know, they average about 6 hours to process your administrative paperwork to get you officially or legally open as a business. But then, of course, you have to have time to do some other things. But overall, do I regret this move? Not at all. This was the best decision I could have ever made in my life. And I really, really am so grateful. I'm so grateful that I have this opportunity. Like, I wake up every morning and just be at awe that I'm in Africa. You know, this morning I woke up in Egypt. Where I live in Rwanda, I have these beautiful views, a panoramic view of the city, and looking at those lights every night, or looking at those mountain plains in the backdrop. It's just phenomenal. I couldn't get that anywhere else. And then here it allows me to create a lifestyle that I want, in terms of, in this location I can travel more economically, that's economically feasible for me, and from this location versus trying to travel internationally from the States. Here I have the opportunity to also provide other people with jobs, and for starters, even a domestic staff. So that's something that is normal culture here, even for the locals. So, in America, if you had a cook or a housekeeper or a guard, that is considered things for celebrities. But here, the average person has that. And you're also employing people, and they also can become your family because they're in your personal space every day. And I have learned so much through them, and even the culture of Rwanda. And let me speak a little bit about why I selected Rwanda. Of course, there are many people here that's also, I'll say on the continent, other people from the diaspora, or the blacks from the diaspora who live in Tanzania, Ghana, all these other countries. And of course there are 55 countries you could select from, but many are, I would say, in Ghana and Tanzania, at least that I'm aware of, and there are many coming to Rwanda as well. So why did I select Rwanda over the others? It was basically because, actually I was looking at the Gambia first, and it was my brother who had done research on Rwanda, and I was like, Rwanda? I said, as in hotel Rwanda? Because that's all I knew about from the movie, again, media, and had no idea how this country has developed in just a short period of 27 years from that horrific 1994 genocide. And it brands itself to be the next Singapore in terms of, an expedited developing country. And I think that President Paul Kagame is phenomenal in terms of his leadership and his love for the people of Rwanda. And I think that's wonderful. And, by comparison, when I think about in America or other, the diaspora, about the people in the diaspora. And, you know, especially in America where we have endured, you know, a lot of racism. You know, we were, our ancestors were taken by, you know, slave trade. And that's how many of us, you know, in terms of our ancestors were, you know, ended up basically in America or even other countries across the world. But, you know, and I would say Rhonda, for the record, Rhonda did not participate in slave trade, and this is over in East Africa. Most of us were taken, our ancestors were taken to West Africa. But, you know, it's just that connection in terms of that heritage connection, that connection to the land. It's a spiritual thing, and you really would not understand until you until you experience it. And that's something that you definitely, even if you have no desire to move here, I think it would be important for you to at least have a visit. So do yourself that favor. I think you owe it to yourself and the ancestors to come and put your feet on this land, connect with it, and it's going to be a natural thing. It's just going to be a natural thing. But if you want to hear more about, you know, some of the details of preparing for a move or even a visit, or you have any questions, just, you know, first of all, as they say, I want you to subscribe to my channel, please. And if you will hit the like button and share this with someone who's not already there, I would really appreciate that. And if you want more content, I'm going to start doing this a little bit regularly. Again, excuse the lack of technology for me right now, and that was another thing that I kept procrastinating this video. But this morning it hit me. I got up, it was like, I think I started, it's about 7:30 this morning, and it's phenomenal, you guys. I feel like I am in a dream, but thank God I get to live it. So shout out to all of my family, my friends, class of '83, my family, Rattlers in the house, and I just want to say thank you guys for taking the time to listen at this little brief video. But if you want more content, or interested in, like I said, coming and moving to Africa or visiting Africa, hit me in my DM or ask questions in the feed. You can comment and tell me if had you been thinking about it, and if so, why. And then we'll continue that dialogue. All right. Well, I guess I'm going to go back and enjoy the rest of this view and see what else I can get into in my first morning in